Okay, the last action of the day. This one takes us to Africa this time, where the issue of land rights, as we heard earlier during the day, is definitely one of growing concern. And not simply because of the many episodes of land grabbing being government-driven or being corporate-driven, but mostly because women are really at the receiving end of customs and policies which really bar them altogether from owning land. And in fact, this is not happening just in Africa, it's happening pretty much all around the world, and it has, as you can imagine, massive socioeconomic consequences. Presenting our next action is Mhoja from Landesa, one of the most respected grassroots organizations fighting for property rights. Please welcome Monica.
Hello. Land is our identity. Land is our dignity. Land is our destiny. I've traveled from Dar es Salaam to encourage you, to energize you, to join a global effort that has potential to empower generations of women in my home country of Tanzania and around the world. For over 30 years, Landesa has worked with governments and civil society to strengthen land rights for more than 500 million people worldwide. And over the course of those years, we have learned that land rights can be an especially powerful tool for women. Unfortunately, in half of the countries in the world, long-held social norms and traditions stand in the way of women from exercising their land rights, even when national laws or constitutions protect those rights. But I firmly believe that together we can change this scenario. With enough will, resources, and determination, a new global campaign that Landesa is about to launch has the power to close the gap between law and practice that is preventing women in these countries from realizing their equal rights to land. I have personally seen the change on the ground in Tanzania, from poor widows to married women to single women. And a case that stands out in my mind is that of a lady called Tabu, a young woman who was the proud owner of a small plot of land that provided her an income independent of any man. But when she married, her new husband told that land was now his, and his alone. At first, Tabu felt powerless and accepted that unjust situation. That was just how things were, she thought. But in 2016, I facilitated an intervention that changed everything for Tabu. We trained local advocates, paralegals, to educate women and men in their communities on their land rights. One of these interventions opened Tabu's eyes and her husband's eyes. He came to understand that and accept that she had the same rights as him. I'm happy to report that she now is back in control of her own land. And I'm also pleased to report that she has given her husband permission to farm the land too. It's up to us all to turn Tabu's story into millions of stories like it. Actually, widows are more discriminated. For instance, in Tanzania, customary law inheritance discriminates widows. 18 years back, I helped a widow who was sacked away from her matrimonial home, and I represented her in court. Last year, when I was presenting in one of a crusade, I saw a lady behind crying. And when I finished, she came with tears, grabbed me, and she reminded me, I'm that widow Flora. You helped me to get my land back. And now my boys are educated. I was also in tears, tears of happiness, tears of joy. So please join me today in launching a global campaign to close the gap between policy and practice. With your partnership, we can make equal land rights a sustainable reality for women around the world. The campaign will provide an umbrella for in-country-based civil society groups and NGOs who will be the real engine of impact. It will support their efforts to work in coalition, helping them amplify their voices and scale their reach. They will drive the change in capitals and communities, advancing the strategies and solutions to close the women's landscape. The campaign will give them the keys to get there, to support women like the widow I mentioned and Tabu. Today, we are seeking $500,000 to kickstart this global campaign in 5 countries. First in Tanzania, shortly followed by India, Brazil, Kenya, and Liberia. But you are not looking only for financial partners. For this campaign to succeed, we need implementers, partners who can roll up their sleeves and be part of this advocacy campaign on the grounds in countries and communities, both urban and rural areas. We need media and communication partners to help us elevate our message in countries and at the global stage. We need technology partners who can provide mapping and mobile solution to documenting land rights in communities. And we also need legal partners that can advise on strategies for improving weak implementation policies. Together, we can close this big gap. Together, we can make sure that millions of women, like that widow and Tabu, realize their land rights, not only on paper, but in their daily lives. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank you.
And welcome. Let's get you some help. So it's a very fascinating issue. We discussed that earlier during the day. And sometimes there is no law, and sometimes there is law. But there is a huge gap, as we discuss, between policy and practice. You spend a lot of time on the field yourself. You speak to a lot of women. How are you planning to close that gap?
Actually, that's the purpose of the whole campaign. Every activity is working towards that. Build fund and grow in-country campaigns coalition, re-granting to the NGOs and community group, sustain a country-based and global communication, stall gathering, media supporting campaign, and support of advocacy efforts. Also designing and rolling out advocacy training and toolkits, and doing research and assessment. You know, there are a number of local and international organizations in Tanzania who have been working, and we are working together on women land rights. There are other activities, strategies which have been done to look on what have been done, why it's not successful.
So galvanizing a movement.
Exactly. What can we do more in a more innovative way? And also through advocacy at all levels to make sure we are strengthening the communities in practice through innovative pastoral approaches.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's get some support from the room. You need financial and practical support, as you just described, for an international communication campaign, implementing, so partners for implementation to scale your work, pro bono legal support, as always here, to do cross-border research on the issue of land rights, technology to provide mapping and mobile solutions. So, we had a session earlier on land rights. Technology and mapping was one of the key words that were used in that session. Let's see if we can get your support on that area. Let's go to Julia over there.
Hi, my name is Amy Kokenauer. I'm the CEO of Cadasta Foundation, you heard about earlier today. I'm very delighted to provide support today to Landesa, to this campaign. Cadasta is a suite of mobile tools and simple technologies to help vulnerable communities map their own land and property rights. So we will be offering to Landesa access to these tools and also training to your partners on the ground to help them map their own property rights. Secondly, we also offer access to a secure platform where these communities can store and manage and access their own data and their own property rights data. And also, we would like to provide support on producing maps and other kind of geospatial and data analytics to help support the advocacy campaign to show officials that these communities are visible and that they are actually on a map. And finally, we'd like to just provide general support to the advocacy campaign by pushing out through our own social media and other kind of networks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Cadasta. So we also need pro bono legal support, and I want to put my colleagues at Trustlaw here on the spot. And if you don't answer, you're putting me on the spot. But they have. Number 2, Catherine.
It's okay, we're answering. So I hope everyone here realizes that it's not just the Trust Conference that the Thomson Reuters Foundation organizes. We also run the world's largest legal pro bono network. We work in 175 countries. We work with about 850 law firms. There's 120,000 lawyers in our network, and we provide free assistance to over 5,000 nonprofits and social enterprises. So we would be really happy to find pro bono legal support for you. I think particularly Kenya, Tanzania, Brazil, India, their network, we've got really strong networks. We'd be able to, there's lots of information already out there, so we'd be able to help collate a lot of the information that exists. And to the extent that you're looking to develop new legislation, we can not only help you understand how you need to change, what you need to do to change domestic laws, but also help draft provisions for new legislation as well. And to the extent you're rolling out Know Your Rights guides, we'd be able to support those too. So we're very happy to help here.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nick, and the Trustlaw team. But we also need partners, more partners, to close this gap we were talking about and to raise awareness, so the comms part of your advocacy here. Let's see if we can get you some more support from the room. Let's go to number 3.
My name is Marius, and I am here today on behalf of the GIZ, the German Agency for International Development Cooperation, to pledge our support for the timely Women's Land Rights campaign. We pledge to be a close global partner, to raise awareness on the campaign, and to advocate for women's land rights. We pledge to help analyze the problem in different national contexts and advise our partners on effective strategies to solve them. We aim to provide additional data that would help bolster advocacy efforts on how to close the implementation gap in a particular country. We will help to produce information, studies and research related to gender and land rights. Transformative change for women across the world and the achievement of SDG 5 will require a collective effort. We therefore encourage you to join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Some good support there from the German government. Finally, let's go to Julia for one more.
Hello, I'm Yuri Shumegi from Habitat for Humanity International. We are a global housing NGO, so we are coming to the land rights from a housing perspective. We have our own advocacy campaign for 3 years now, which is called, funnily, Solid Ground, which was the title of the session previously today. We are already a core operational partner for Landes, so we helped formulate the concept for this campaign. But we can offer is the knowledge which comes from our campaign. Recently, we did a women evaluation criteria land tool assessment in Lesotho, and we can share the learnings from that. We have a dedicated website called Solid Ground campaign.org, which I think we can expose some of the stories you will have to publish. And also, where we have a geographical overlap, we can contribute to local implementation. And we are committed to keep this on the agenda of the EU when it comes to EU development policy and funding. Thank you.
And obviously, a reminder for those who are interested by the issue of land rights that the Thomson Reuters Foundation runs a dedicated portal for news and information on the issue of land and property rights. It's called Place and is reachable at place.trust.org. So you can find stories from all around the world on the issue of land and property rights. Before we close this action session, any other support coming from the room? If not, I will all direct you once more to delegates.trustconference.com/actions, and you can continue to pledge your support even after the conference. Thank you so much, and thank you and good luck, Monica.
Thank you. That was great.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.